Good evening, everybody. It's Dr. Rivers. I'm back again. Those were great talks by Dr. Doan and Dr. Gisharu. I'm going to finish out this session and go into my slides here. So disclosures, I'm a KOL for Zeiss. And tonight, what I want to talk about is go through my military background, talk a little bit about my SMILE history, why I switched to the VISUMAX 800, and then we'll do a case study, one of my cases. And we did two studies when SMILE first came to the U.S. The first study we did was a prospective study where we looked at SMILE and military tasks. And so with this study, what we did is we sent soldiers to the firing range before they got surgery, so their best correction, and just, watched how they shot. And then we did SMILE, and we sent them back to the firing range 6 weeks after, just to kind of see how well they did. And the biggest take home from this study was that they did excellent, and it showed that SMILE, they performed just as good as they would have had they gotten LASIK or had they gotten PRK. Then we also looked at a retrospective study where we looked at my first year of performing SMILE, and we compared that to PRK and LASIK. And back then, SMILE, you can only do spherical treatments, and so we definitely compared apples to apples. And so this was my first year performing SMILE, and we compared PRK and LASIK cases during that same period of time. And the take home from this study was that SMILE, obviously, as you would expect, the post-operative recovery and outcomes were superior to PRK in the early stages because patients healed really quickly, and it was as predictable as LASIK. And so again, it was just a great way to validate for the military that SMILE was a great procedure and a great option. And what we found was prior to doing SMILE, I'd say like 70% of people were getting PRK. And then once we started doing SMILE, those numbers quickly changed, and we saw like 50% of people going to get SMILE over LASIK or PRK. And so definitely made a big difference in the military. So why switch to the VISUMAX 800? Well, I think that SMILE is definitely here to stay. I think it's going to become even more popular. And I think that what the VISUMAX 800 offers is opportunity for new surgeons. And I think it's going to make that transition a little bit easier for some of the new surgeons. Probably the biggest thing is the reduced time. There's a lot of advantages to the quickness of the new VISUMAX, the 800. We'll talk about this here in the next couple of slides, but I think some of the biggest issues that maybe new surgeons have, because the suction is so low on the VISUMAX, suction loss is one of the things that people worry about quite a bit. And this was a study by Dr. Ronstein out of London. And what I liked about this was just addressing the suction loss issue. And so, when you're first getting used to the VISUMAX, I think the reason they want you to do 50 flaps is because you really have to get used to the low suction, because it is easier for patients to break suction. Well, with the new VISUMAX, because the treatment is so quick, I think you have less of a concern for that. And so this actually shows that there's potential for 65% reduction in suction losses because of the speed of the new laser. This is a great video that shows just side by side how quickly the new VISUMAX 800 is. It's really amazing. You're looking at times like you would be looking at making a flap versus the VISUMAX 500. You can see it's just a big difference. And so the potential for someone to move or get a suction loss. I can say I've been doing SMILE since 2016, 2017, and I've only had a few suction losses, but it's still a potential. But with the new VISUMAX, less likely. I think you can get anybody to hold still for 8.87 seconds. Pretty amazing. And then overall, when you look at just every aspect, you compare the 500 to the 800, the lenticular delineation time, the dissection time, docking time is much quicker. And then overall surgical time, you're looking at like 3 minutes less, which in a high volume place is just really significant, really significant. This study looked at the differences between the 500 and 800, and I think the take home from this was that there were really no big differences except when you look at the high order aberrations. With the 800, there was definitely a reduction in high order aberrations, but every other aspect, there was really no statistical significant difference.